Good morning, greetings, salutations. I hope that everybody's doing wonderful this morning. It's good to see each and every one of you. My Lord Almighty, I feel my temperature rising. Man, oh man. Hey, yes, StreamYards. Oh, hey, Eris, good to see you. Yeah, just do those YouTubey things. And awesome morning, humans. Morning, Feral. June Eves, good morning. Good morning. Bodisha, yes, it's awesome. Hey, Eris. Yes, yes. Good morning, Tom H. Yes, yes, yes. And Melanie. Good to see Melanie Beeman. Man, oh man. And how long time no see. I hope you're doing well this morning. Good gosh. I had a wonderful, wonderful day yesterday. Yeah, it happens. It happens. One of those days. One of those days it's gonna be. So, at least I'm not a royal. I mean, think about this. You'd spend your entire time, being the butt of all the jokes, literally being the butt of all the jokes. Good morning, Denise C. And then, of course, you would have to be someone like Catherine. Now, I really don't don't give two bits about these people. I just find it interesting that people are so concerned that they have to write it, use an AI story to write about this. Of course, it says Prince William and his wife Catherine filmed at a farm shop near their Windsor home. Okay, that's okay. So I guess supposedly they'd been missing or something like that, or she'd been missing, and everyone was concerned for. She had abdominal surgery for unspecified condition 2 months ago, so she's recovering. Cool. Newspaper published a short clip late Monday that appeared to show William and Kate smiling as they walked together, carrying shopping bags. It said the footage was taken on Saturday in Windsor, west of London. The Sun quoted Nelsa Silva, who said he filmed the video. He is saying Kate looked happy and relaxed. They just happy just to be able to go to a shop and mingle. Well, there you go. The Kensington Palace didn't offer comment. Palace said Kate 42 will return to official duties after Easter. It's likely to be once her children go back to school on April 17th. Sun plastered its front page with a "Great to see you again, Kate." It said it had decided to publish the footage in a bid to bring an end to what the palace has called the madness of social media. It's awesome. And it says, feverish and at times fantastical speculation. That's whenever I saw that, I was like, did AI write this? Well, it seems like AI wrote this. How are my remodeling and repairs going? Oh, it's going. I mean, they will be back today, like mid-afternoon, to finish things up, but it's going good. I mean, everything's looking nice, looking as it should. Um, we just have to bear with people hanging out in our house, doing tile things for just a little while longer. And it really isn't more a remodel, it's just a repair. Um, and because of doing the repair, just decided to upgrade a couple of things that we just decided. I mean, it was time to update things. Like don't do carpet in the basement. It's a bad idea. If you could avoid it. So yeah, that's all that's going on. And hopefully I can this weekend be able to put my pocket door in. The bad part is the door won't be here for another 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. The door itself, like the pocket portion of it, goes in, but yeah, it'll be a little while before we get the rest of it here. So it said the palace does not disclose details, but it said it's not cancer related, so it's not the big C word, which is good. Who knows why? Who knows why that? She had to have her stomach removed or something. I don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Oh my gosh. Oh, and check this out. I thought this was pretty neat. So I thought asbestos was not to be used ever again, but they've gone all out. The EPA bans asbestos, a deadly carcinogen still in use decades after a partial ban was enacted. I didn't know this. So the EPA on Monday announced a comprehensive ban on the asbestos, a carcinogen that kills tens of thousands of Americans every year, but is still used in some chlorine bleach, brake pads, and other products. I don't now they might be used somewhere, but I don't believe they use them in the US anymore. I mean, I don't believe that they use it anymore. I've been doing brake pads for a while, back whenever they did make them out of asbestos, but I don't think they use it in brake pads anymore. I don't think they've done that for, shoot, at least decades. But, that's me. I'm an idiot whenever it comes to, following EPA guidelines. Mm. Although I did have to work for a company that handled EPA stuff for the ocean, which was always interesting. So the final rule marks the major expansion of EPA regulation under the 2016 law that overhauled regulations governing tens of thousands of toxic chemicals in everyday products from household cleaners to clothing and furniture. I didn't know it was in bleach. I didn't either. The EPA Administrator Michael Regan called the final rule a major step to protect public health. I guess. You never know everything. Oh, absolutely. I, I'm learning along with you. With today's ban, EPA is finally slamming the door on a chemical so dangerous that it's been banned in over 50 countries. This historic ban is more than 30 years in the making, and it's thanks to amendments that Congress made in 2016 to fix the Toxic Substance Control Act. Hmm. Exposure to asbestos is known to cause lung cancer, mesothelioma, and other cancers, linked to more than 40,000 deaths in the U.S. each year, ending the ongoing use of asbestos. Now, see, there's a lot of houses I know here in Georgia that still have the asbestos siding, um, and I think there's still some in California. I had a guy that I was in a band with, and that was well over 30 years ago. That he worked with a um, asbestos removal company to come in and remove the asbestos out of off the sides of buildings and stuff like that. It's unbelievable the stuff that you have to go through for that. Like, you have to wrap up the entire house, you have to wrap your entire body, put on air respirators, and you're just like shuffling this stuff inside of an enclosed tent that's over the entire house, and then loading up your truck and having to wrap that all up, and it was just insane. It's just almost list of stuff that doesn't cause cancer. Exactly. Hey, Baldo, how you doing this morning? Yeah, you never know. Everything is imported here. Yeah. No. Well, of course, uh, ending the ongoing use of asbestos advances the goals of President Joe Biden's cancer moonshot. Okay. You're never going to end that. The science is clear. Asbestos is a known carcinogen that has severe impacts on public health. Actually, it's just the beginning as we work to protect all American families. Let's stop. Stop trying to protect American families, and how about stop messing around? Stop messing around. Stop being the ones. This 2016 law authorizes new rules. It's 2016. Yeah. EPA banned asbestos in '89. Okay, see, there you go. I was pretty sure that they banned it being used in like brake pads and crap like that. It's just I was pretty sure that was before I left the military. But hey, it's common in home insulation and other products. Yeah, that's true. But if they've banned it also, I don't know. While chlorine is commonly used disinfectant water treatment, there are only 8 chloride alkali plants in the U.S. that still use asbestos diaphragms to produce chlorine and sodium hydroxide, hmm, mostly located in Louisiana and Texas. Use of diaphragms has been declining and now accounts for less than one-third of the production. It'll ban imports of asbestos for chlorine alkali as soon as the rule is published, but will phase in prohibitions. So it's going to ban on most other uses will affect in 2 years. So like they did it today, but 2 years from now is whenever that'll actually work. Hmm, that sounds good. So, for you folks that are waiting, just give it another couple of years. For far too long, polluters have been allowed to make and use and release toxics like asbestos and PFAs without regards for your health. Well, yeah. I mean, personal health, that's one thing. You just want a list of all the stuff that doesn't? Yeah. That'd probably be a short list. Good morning. Good morning. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. McGinnis. Let's see. So there was, what was it? So I don't know who this person is. Never really paid any attention to him. I guess they worked for, what was it? The group Turning Point USA or something like that. State of California causes cancer. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it just depends on what kind you're looking for. So Isabel DeLuca of Long Island, New York, she's going to, let's see, October 26, 2020 on Capitol Hill. DeLuca, a conservative social media influencer, has been charged with storming the U.S. Capitol. Oh, awful, awful January 6er. Conservative social media influencer has been charged with storming the U.S. Capitol and passing a stolen table out of a broken window. I don't think that's what the charge actually was, but more than likely she was charged for storming the U.S. Capitol. According to court records, um, she's Isabella Maria DeLuca. Never heard of her. She doesn't influence me, so whoopee. Hey, Pernilla, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So she was arrested last Friday in Irvine, California on a misdemeanor charges. Well, see, they made it sound like it was all bad, like she caused like all this death and destruction and just was rampaging everywhere. It's a misdemeanor for theft of government property, disorderly conduct, and entering a restricted area. It'd be noted that she has more than 333 followers on the platform called X. She's a former congressional intern. She worked for the Gold Institute for International Strategy. Says she served as ambassador for Turning Point. She also interned for Lee Zeldin, Paul Gauser, um, and supported Trump. Yeah, okay. DeLuca 24 of New York didn't, and I'm not even going to try it. It looks like said sauerkraut, New York. Didn't immediately respond to an email seeking comment. It says there's not an attorney lister. A spokesperson has said learned Monday that who was hired in an unpaid position to update the social media presence, was facing criminal charges following internal investigation. They severed her relationship. Isn't that great? Hey, Majalan, good to see you. I Majalan, sorry. Good to see you. I'm glad that you could make it this morning. And good morning from the UK. Hello, mad Englishman from the UK. I won't even go into not knowing the difference between Wales. That was bad last night. But of course, during the January 6th riot, it's a riot now, huh? DeLuca replied to a Twitter post by writing, okay, fight back or let politicians steal an election. Fight back. I don't see anything amiss with that. Being a Trump supporter is enough to get you arrested. I guess. Yes, one would hope that the world has not devolved into that kind of idiocy, but it does happen. It does happen quite a bit. Videos capture her entering a suite of conference rooms inside the Capitol through a broken window on the lower west terrace. She passed a table out of the window and then climbed back outside through the same window. A table that another rioter threw at police resembled, well, okay, so it resembled it, but it wasn't the same one. I mean, and how big was this table? Was this like some enormous table, or was this just some little cheap, cardboard, box that got thrown at somebody? And was it the same box, or was it just similar? Well, I mean, one was blue, the other one was red, but it was similar enough. I don't know. See, I haven't seen the video, so Duluth, and it was an FBI agent's affidavit. Oh yeah, like we trust the digit people there to tell the truth. I mean, come on. Didn't we see the whole Fednapping thing happen in real time where you had what, like 6 people and 20 or 30 FBI agents? Yeah, that was the group that was gonna kidnap kidnap a governor. Uh, and they didn't even wanna have anything to do. They're just like, "Yeah, that's not really what we're doing. We're scoping the place out, but other than that, no, we're not gonna be doing that." I mean, it's planned by the FBI to do something. It's just like, yeah, yeah, don't join up with stupid groups. It's never a good idea. They just get you in trouble, you know? It's like if someone's saying, "Oh, I'm part of a militia. We're gonna teach you how to do all these kinds of illegal things." Mhm. Don't trust people that wanna get you in trouble. There's like little gangs. Asked why she supported breaking into the Capitol. According to the Constitution, it's our house. Yeah, actually, it's very true. You just have to be also respectful and not, like, cause problems. So several days later, she posted on social media that she was at the Capitol on January 6th and had mixed feelings. People went to the Capitol building because that's our house and that's where we go to take our grievances. People feel, as do I, that an election was stolen from them and it was allowed. Now, I can't confirm or deny that I might agree with her, but when the FBI questioned her roughly 2 weeks after the Capitol attack, DeLuca denied entering the building on January 6th. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you? Being a Trump, yeah. More than 1,300 people have been charged with the Capitol riot related crimes. Over 800 of them have been sentenced, with roughly two-thirds getting a term of imprisonment ranging from a few days to 22 years. And not a single one has ever been charged with insurrection. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, that's the story of Miss DeLuca. Yeah, feel bad for her, but I don't feel bad if you're going to go and partake in causing mischief and mayhem. It's always best to keep in mind, that rule of, creating problems is never a good idea. It's only going to cause more issues. It's sort of like what is that? Oh, it's horrible. I'm not reading that story. May read that one. We'll see. Because there was one here that I saw. Oh, here we go. And this was this one here. There we go. Yeah, this one. So a Trump era ban on a gun accessory known as bump stocks. Hmm. So why is the Supreme Court torn about it? I have no idea, but it looks like justice to hear arguments on the ban. And I think I want to hear what these arguments are. Supreme Court appeared torn Wednesday about a challenge to a ban on bump stocks, a gun accessory that allows semi-automatic weapons to fire rapidly. No, it doesn't. Jeez. Ah, what are you what are you saying? Well, maybe. Could be saying that. Could be saying that. You never know. You never know. I might be saying something just exactly like that. What's the statute of limitations on public disorderly conduct? Amazing how that happens. On being tried and convicted for it. Now, see, you could be held indefinitely. You and they've made it very clear that you don't have access to a speedy trial. They could delay it for years. You know what are you going to say? You're going to argue with your government trying to prosecute you? Good luck. You have to remember that our country, there's certain rules that you have to abide by, because if not, then they will take your right to life. Isn't that amazing? Uh, it allows weapons to fire rapidly like machine guns. It was used in the deadliest ass shooting in American modern history. Really? Was it? I'm trying to think. Was it? Because I haven't heard anything except for where they talk about it. They talk about it a lot. They talk about this thing that happened in Vegas, and it's just amazing. They don't actually they don't actually have anything beyond that. It's a lot of fear. It's a lot of fear is what it appears to me. High court is weighing whether Trump followed federal law when it reversed course and banned bump stocks after a gunman in Vegas attacked a country music festival. Many of the weapons were equipped with bump stocks and high capacity magazines. Yeah, but you can only fire one bullet at a time, regardless. More than 1,000 rounds were fired into the crowd in 11 minutes, which deleted 60 people and injured hundreds more. And it was horrible. Um, it was absolutely horrible. It's just amazing that they haven't released any of the footage of him being captured. Well, or him being deleted. It seemed to me there was so much wrong with the whole Vegas narrative. Yeah, I'm with you. There's so much wrong about this, and that's why it's like you talk about this like like this was the worst thing to ever happen, and it was due to one thing or another. But you're missing like a lot of the details of it. Like, what was the reason why this guy did it? And I mean, I could point out a lot of things that just don't really quite add up. And I think everybody knows what they are, but we'll just go on to happier things. Because there's certain like group here, it's called YouTube. They don't really like you talking about this kind of stuff because, well, they get all panties get in a wad whenever you actually, try to have a debate or a conversation about this. Uh, Tell me you've never fired a force multiplier without saying you never held one. Well, just saying. Ah, Texas gun shop owners argues that bump stocks don't change the core function of a semi-automatic enough to make it illegal. That's true. But see, why are they talking about Trump whenever now they're talking about Biden? Well, because Trump is the one that signed it and said, sure, we'll sign this thing off. I mean, not knowing a whole lot of things, I'm sure there's a lot of things that Trump signed off on that, hopefully, hopefully whenever he wins, he eliminates a lot of those other things. That would be nice. Like jobs, that would be wonderful. Eliminate like a lot of government people that he can fire. Oh, that would be glorious. Just watch him come through and just one big, F you, you're fired. Mm, but you're welcome to reapply and then make that a going, just an ongoing rule. Like each administration that comes in completely just every 4 years you have to go through the application process again. I think that would be glorious. I think that would be absolutely glorious. Like you would have to renegotiate your salary. Yeah, you know what? These hundreds of thousands of dollars in insiders trading things that you might be able to get away with because maybe we would eliminate that. The argument focused on whether guns with bump stock can be considered illegal. The Texas gun shop argues that bump stocks don't change core function. Of course, we know that. Well, it would be the Biden administration that says this falls firmly under a legal definition of a machine gun. Oh, is the latest gun case come before the justice offers a fresh test for a court with conservative supermajority to define the limits of gun restrictions. They should have none. I think we should be able to carry fully automatic uh, weapons. That would be nice. That'd be nice. Just it sort of keeps people in line a little bit. So, conservative justice raised questions about whether machine gun laws dating to the 1930s Yeah, well, that was the 1930s. Finding that the accessories were illegal. Well, intuitively, I'm entirely sympathetic to your argument, says Justice Amy Coney Barrett. I think the question is, why didn't Congress pass legislation to make this cover it more clearly? That would be something that you would want to take up with Congress. Justices from the court's liberal wing suggested it was common sense that bump stocks would fall under laws originally aimed at prohibition era violence from gangsters such as Al Capone. Uh, this is the heartland of why they were what they were concerned about. Really, do you think they were? I'll be your cowboy. Uh, Fellows move on paper sprint inane stuff about royals, but ignore completely riots across Europe against the World Economic Forum. Isn't that crazy? Thank you very much, Mad Englishman. This is so well put. Yeah, this is something that should be much more important, much more important. The Royals, like I read that story this morning. I was like, really? This is what you got? The Royals? This is the only thing that you're concerned about? Whether Kate Middleton had part of her stomach like removed or something. Maybe she was worried about getting chunky and had to tighten things up a little bit. You never know. I don't know. I mean, maybe they found ah never mind. I won't say that. Of course, this all changed after Vegas. Marissa Morano survived the shooting at the show she attended with her sister, but struggles with the lasting effects of her life and community. I'll never forget the sound of a machine gun fired into the crowd that night as Gina and I ran for our lives. But there was no machine gun. It was just, oh, she's a volunteer for Moms Demand Action, or MDA, and hopes the Supreme Court upholds the ban. Well, bump stocks are accessories that replace a rifle stock. Part that rests against the shoulder. They harness the gun's recoil energy so that the trigger bumps against the finger, allowing it to fire rapidly. Common sense gun laws are unconstitutional. Yes, that's very true. Good Lord. Maybe Kate is worried the Royals will Diana her. I don't know. That's always a possibility. That's always a possibility. They were invented in the 2000s under George Bush and Barack Obama. So which was it? Because you know there would have only been one president. Maybe they allowed him in. The ATF decided that bump stocks didn't transform it into machine guns. The agency reversed the decision at Trump's urging after the shooting in Vegas and another shooting in Parkland, Florida. The plaintiffs argued that the rifles with bump stocks are different from machine guns because the trigger keeps moving. The shooter must continue to exert pressure on the weapon. It is still one shot per function of the trigger. They're all one shot per per function of the trigger. That's true. It is. It is that. It's not an internal component. It's an external component. Even though the shots are coming out of the barrel a lot faster than they were before. Well, I mean, it doesn't. One trigger pull, one bullet. That's what's happening here. Lawyers pointed out traditional machine guns also require pressure from the shooter. They argue bump stocks fall under the legal definition of a machine gun because the shooter's finger stays still while the gun fires. No, that's not true. It would require pressure completely on it. After the Las Vegas shooting, the deadliest shooting in our national history. And they keep saying this. I think it would have been irresponsible for the ATF not to look at this prior to interpretation. There were about 5,200, which that's, I guess, a lot, requiring people to either surrender or destroy them. Oh, wow. At a loss of 100 million. Yeah. Neil Gorsuch questioned the Justice Department about the effects of the about face that bought them while they were legal. Later indicated that people who bought them after the rule was finalized could face prosecution. The High Court took up the case after the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals invalidated the ban, finding that it differed from the ruling from Federal Appeals Court in Washington to uphold it. 15 states and Washington have their own ban on those particular stocks. The High Court is separately weighing another case, which is this term's challenging for a federal law intended to keep guns away from people under domestic violence restraining orders. The justices appeared to likely to keep the measure in place during arguments in November. Well, there you go. It comes at a time when a 6-3 conservative majority has been increasingly skeptical of the powers of federal agencies. This term, the justices are also weighing challenges to the aspects of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau and the Security and Exchange Commission. Oh my. Moms lie about stuff. You think? Maybe. Moms never. They would never lie. Maybe Kate is worried the Royals. We already read that. Sorry about that. Oh wow, is today actually the first day of spring? Wow. Spring equinox is here. What does that mean? This is weird. Like, oh, we're gathering sun's energy. It looks very cultish. They're the pyramid of the sun in Teotihuacan, Mexico. Oh, they're in Mexico. Well, that explains it. Spring is almost here, officially at least. The vernal equinox arrives on Tuesday, making the start of the spring season for the northern hemisphere. Yes, exactly. Spring is here, and it's 29 degrees outside. Yes, my wife, because she didn't want to lose some of her plants, went out there and threw towels over some of them. She was like, I would grab the cloth, but I think this will just like she's got some landscaping cloth that she would use for that. But she's like, I'll just grab these and throw them on there and see how that does. So we'll see if some of them didn't make it this year or not. What is the equinox? As the Earth travels around the sun, it does so at an angle. For most of the year, the Earth's axis is tilted either towards or away from the sun. That means the sun's warmth and light fall unequally on the northern and southern halves of the planet. During the equinox, the Earth's axis is in its orbit lineup, so they both hemispheres get the equal amount of sunlight. The word equinox comes from two Latin words meaning equal and night. That's because on the equinox, day and night last almost the same amount of time, though one may get a few extra minutes depending on where you are on the planet. The northern hemisphere spring or vernal equinox can land between March 19th and the 21st, depending on the year. Its fall or autumnal equinox can land between September 21 and 24. Well, hooray. So what is the solstice? It marks the time of the year when the Earth is its most extreme tilt towards or away from the sun. Nice. What is the difference between meteorological and astronomical seasons? These are just two different ways to carve up the year. Hooray. So learn something. Astronomical seasons depend on how the Earth moves around the sun. And, it'd be really interesting if you really concentrated and thought about this, that our clocks are wrong, that our concept of time is wrong, and it has been for a long time. That's an interesting thought. There's a reason why you have these leap years, the reason why you have more months. You could have had less months, or you could have made it the equal amount of days. The cycle of our rotation around the sun. They figured this out, like the Mayans and a lot of other cultures sort of figured out the perfect time for everything, and he kept track of it much better than the current calendar we have and current keeping of time. It's weird. It's weird to me that we go around the planet at a certain speed. But talking about going around the planet at a certain speed, here's a surge of illegal homemade machine guns has helped fuel violence in the U.S. I don't think so. I mean, let's hear what they have to say about this. 11-year-old Dominic Davis was not far from his mom's home when a hail of gunfire sprayed out from a passing car. Well, yeah, that sucks. 4 other children and a woman were hurt in November shooting that deleted him. He had just made the school basketball team. What happened? How does this happen to an 11-year-old? He was only a few doors down. Shooting remains under investigation. Okay. That's what does this have to see? I own a 3D printer. I don't print things that will harm anybody. That's my hope. So whenever you hear something like this, it just makes it sound ridiculous. But they're saying they believe they could have been fired off because it had been illegally converted, but they have no proof of that. I mean, this is just like, oh Jesus. It's still under investigation, but they never caught whoever it was that did this. So what does this have to do with it? Well, because now they want to say communities around the U.S. have seen these shootings carried out. Communities around the U.S. have seen carried out with weapons converted to fully automatic. Okay, fueled by a staggering increase in small pieces of metal or plastic made with 3D printer or ordered online. That's just illegal. See, law-abiding citizens don't do illegal things. Illegal people will continue to do illegal things. They will always find a way to do illegal things. Criminals don't obey the law. It's a weird concept, but criminals never obey the law. What happens whenever criminals don't obey the law? Law-abiding citizens are the one that take the worst brunt of this. We haven't figured this one out by now. That's so weird. Let's see. But the proliferation of devices known nicknames as such as Glock switches, auto shears, and chips that allowed people to transform legal semi-automatic weapons to even more dangerous guns. No, guns guns have one purpose, one purpose only, and that's not going to change how you change the weapon. It's not going to change it. It still is only designed to do one purpose. For one, you don't use it as a hammer. That's a bad idea. Things get broken, people get hurt. Police officers are facing down fully automatic weapon fire. Really? Because I just don't hear about this. You would think that this would be all over front page news everywhere of how many officers have lost their lives in this fight against the weapons. Pass the laws you want. It's not going to stop a criminal. Exactly. And you would think this would be top news. There's gangs running rampant here in the U.S. Wow, I see it more. I see it more in other countries. Like cartels in Mexico. It's strange to me that the whole border crisis just seems to have went away overnight, and now they're on to something new. Like this big, massive push to get money for Ukraine, just sort of, oh, it fizzled out. Well, let's talk about something else because people don't like this. I still haven't seen any passing of a bill that they were so gung ho to get passed. The agency reported 570% increase in the number of conversion devices collected by. Well, see, just because they're collecting more, that just means people are making more. Ukrainianitis surpassing border crisis-nitis. Georgia had a weird sun cult compound between Locust Grove and unincorporated Ringgold. That is true. That is very true. Yes, Ukrainitis surpassing border crisis. Yeah, he fed. How you doing? Good to see you this morning. Yeah, here I am, like looking at you, just going, oh, no. So, and that was collected between 17 and 21. It's really amazing because maybe they didn't have anything better to do than go around and harass law-abiding citizens from like 2019 until 2021. Oh, jeez. Guns with conversion devices have been used in several mass shootings, including one that left 4 dead at a Sweet 16 party in Alabama last year, and another that left 6 people dead at a bar district in Selleck. These are like 2 instances. I can. How about we name the thousands of instances per day in places like Chicago where they have massive gun bans, why don't we talk about those places? I guess, me 3D printing something is much more dangerous than actually talking about where the real problem lies. So these are they ARs or are they not? Because Armalite is one thing, and these ah, one with a conversion device installed, making it a fully automatic M16 machine gun. Jesus. No, it would not be making it an M16. An M16 is its own because then you have different styles of M16. You have the M16A1, A2, A3. Then they switched over to the using the is it M5, something like that. They've got different M's, so it just depends on the size barrel. God damn it, these people. Ah, these these devices are made on 3D printer in about 35 minutes or ordered from overseas online for less than $30. They're also quick to install. Once in place, they modify its machinery. Instead of firing one round each time that they squeeze a trigger, semi-automatic and with a conversion device starts firing as soon as the trigger goes down. It doesn't stop until the shooter lets go or the weapon runs out of ammunition. I've seen a lot in stunning numbers, particularly in street violence. How do you know? How do you know if you're seeing them in street violence? Maybe you're seeing somebody that purchased it elsewhere or stole it from elsewhere. Uh, Also, I'm just surprised that you don't hear more about gangs. The gangs running rapid in New York, in Washington. It's crazy. And a demonstration. Oh, well, ATF demonstrating things is wonderful. Yeah, we saw what the ATF was capable of. Just conversion devices with differing designs can fit a range of different guns, enabling guns to fire at a rate of 800 or more bullets per minute. Okay, so pistols displayed. All right, so that's just a handle. That doesn't change the core function of it whatsoever. It takes 2 or 3 seconds to put in some of these devices into a firearm and make that firearm into a machine gun instantly. Yeah, I mean, so can a damaged pin on a Glock. I mean, I've actually fired a Glock that had a pin that had worn on it, and yeah, it would fire 3 rounds before you knew exactly what happened. Imagine a 40 caliber just going. "Dut, dut, dut, dut." Yeah, that'll wake you up really quick. Firing 3 rounds before you're just like, what in the heck just happened? Luckily, the guy that owned it, because I was going to purchase from as a armor, and was able to fix the problem. That would have been really bad. Um, yeah, he was just like, yeah, that shouldn't be. I was like, that's something's wrong with this thing here, and I didn't know that was a thing that would happen, and it was quite spooky, especially whenever you pull the trigger and it feels like two rounds come out at the same time. That'll scare you really quick because you're always expecting that first round to come out. The second one, not so much. The thing is shaking as it's firing, so we wind up getting multiple what? Chief Brown O'Hare, along with spraying out at dizzying speed switches to make it more difficult to control, so more people can be hit by it. Jeez, so stupid. All right. City has seen a decline in their use since 2022. Arrest of a man charged with selling switches that he'd ordered from Russia or Taiwan or making himself. But it's a very, very real problem. This is having a deep impact on families, on neighborhoods, and communities. Okay. I still, again, just where are they be getting all this BS from? Uh, let's see. How is everyone today? Everyone today is good. I hope you're doing well this morning, Candy. Good to see you. ATF Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, all three categories of which are still legal so far. Yeah. We have to update the laws regarding machine guns to deal with the problems of today. Why? Why do you have to do this? Ah. But long before any prosecution, police have to find the conversion devices. No, no, no. Off to about the size of a quarter, they can easily go unnoticed by the untrained eye after being installed. Okay, these items don't always look as dangerous as they are. If you see some of them, they're pieces of plastic and metal, and sometimes it's even hard to recognize them when they're actually on or on the firearm because they blend in. Okay, don't know because see, I wouldn't use something like that. Yeah, and sorry for Davis's struggle and the loss of his son because you know that's rough. But I don't see how that has to do with anything that's being printed. See, that always concerns me whenever they start talking about these things. Like, is it real or is it Memorex? But this is some good news right here. I like this idea because it's easier to confine people to their own little hell. Millions ditched cars for bikes during the pandemic. These cities want the habit to stick. Well, please do. Oh, this is in Montreal. Well, there you go. Because I'm sure it's every day is a warm day in Montreal, especially whenever you're on a bicycle. It says case studies led by global urban planning researchers of Virginia Tech and Rutgers want more than a dozen cities what more than a dozen cities have done in recent decades, and specifically during the pandemic to improve pedal power commutes and recreation. Okay. Montreal did more than any North American city studied. Oh, so this is Montreal, not I don't know. I thought this was Montreal, Canada. Okay. Some steps have been phased out, but here's snapshots of one of the most ambitious: Washington, Montreal, the first large North American city. I still don't know. Austin, Texas. Well, Bogota, Colombia. Okay. Western Europe, Paris. Yep. See people getting hit all the time in Paris, too. I mean, it's crazy. Well, if Grudge Judge gets his way, our constitutional right, number two, no one will be allowed to bear arms. Well, I mean, that's the price of your politicians. New York, Minneapolis. Yeah, all these wonderful places. Yeah, see, Quebec City. I'm telling you, that's so confusing. Is this Montreal, Minneapolis? But why would we be talking about this? Well, it becomes very important that now they're going to start, and you'll probably see this coming out within the next few days. They're priming you. They're getting you primed up. It's sort of like the three finger Monty right before you get like completely like screwed. So that's what it is. This is a primer. Okay. Yeah. Guess what the primer is? Pedal coast to coast without using a road. New program helps connect trails across the U.S. There you go. We already have those things that connect all across the U.S. They're called highways. Damn. How about this? If it's so wonderful to pedal from coast to coast, then allow bikes on the highways. I mean, you could fill entire, like 6 lanes, 2 lanes. Think about how many bicycles you could have going from coast to coast, and all the weight that people would lose just by pedaling from New York all the way to California, all the way to Los Angeles. All part of the 15-minute city agenda. Exactly. Keep people confined, keep people from complaining about gas prices because well you don't need gas prices whenever you can just pedal your ass from coast to coast. How's that? You don't need gas. Of course, you need more food and stops it a little more often in between. And don't worry about the weather or anything like that, hail, rain, stuff like that. Just don't worry about that stuff. It's just totally fine. We can just, use all the metal of the cars and just cover the highways and the roads, protect you from wind and snow and things like that. Hey, Christine, too dang in hot Texas to ride bikes. Well, but you'll be able to pedal from coast to coast. So that's what they want to do. It's a new program. And guess who's coming up with this new program? Oh, look, it's little ones and their dog. Man, it looks like my dog almost, except mine has more white on his tail, and he's much smaller. When Mike O'Neill opened his bicycle repair shop in Muncie, Indiana, the Cardinal Greenway Trail just outside his window stretched only 2 miles south of the shop. Today it extends 33 miles beyond that, but the ultimate vision is far grander. O'Neill hopes that a trail born from eastern Indiana's old railroad tracks will eventually become a central cog in the proposed Great American Rail Trail, a continuous network of walking and biking routes spanning from Washington State to Washington, D.C. Oh, jeez. What are they going to, how are they get? I would love to see these people go over mountains on one of these biking trails. That sounds like fun. As the trail gets longer, more and more people will use it. Well, no, they'll just use parts of it. They won't use the whole damn thing. So he's owned a bike shop. No wonder. They were set to open application Tuesday for a new grant program. Oh, guess what? It'll be a infrastructure law allowed for as much as $1 billion over 5 years for the program, but Congress has authorized less than $45 million so far. Still, trail activists say the commitment is almost as important as the dollar figure. Oh, it's so important. The number is not as big as we want it to be, but the fact that it's happening, oh, it's huge. It's huge. Let them eat the bugs. Yes. Unless we have these networks fully developed, many people won't be able to take advantage of it. Officials are expecting highly competitive grant process. Jesus. It includes more than 125 completed trails across 12 states and the nation's capital. Great. Here, people, have a bike. We're very depressed. We have very little private property. Our timber industry is basically gone, so our economy is becoming more and more recreation based. What? Passes the 5,000 silver dollar inn in Hogbrook, Lincoln, who owns the hotel and other business nearby. She said linking the trails to a national network could be a huge benefit to small towns. I don't know about that. Why? Who can afford to take weeks off to ride a bike for thousands of miles? Go figure. I mean, really? I mean, you could do, 20, 30 miles a day or an hour, on a bicycle. You get the right bike, you can get going some pretty good distance, but then there's the whole sweat and, thing like that, that makes it more difficult. Well, the sidecar for the kids, that one didn't work, that didn't work out too well. Little Jimmy didn't appreciate, eating the bugs as he is getting smacked in the face, 30 miles an hour. Highly competitive, my behind. Exactly. Like the government doesn't greenlight studies on if squirrels are the same sex attracted because of climate change. Exactly. We're very depressed. We have very little private property. Our timber industry is basically gone. No, it's not. Here's the beautiful thing about trees. After you remove trees, you plant new ones and they come back. So weird how that happens. It's so amazing. I have trees in my front yard that just sprouted up out of nowhere. The suspicion is that they came out of the backside of a certain kind of bird that might have set upon the branch at one point in time after eating a berry from another particular kind of tree. Well, amazing how that is. We're very depressed, Lincoln says. Yeah. The more recreation based, the more diverse that base is, the better it's going to be. Amanda Cooley, one of the leaders of an initiative to close Western Montana's Trail Gap said residents often don't understand the importance of such projects until they're chased down by a bobcat. Then it becomes real. Yeah, you thought you were just cruising along in the mountains. Oh, look at all the pretty nature. Till nature comes chasing at you, running like 4 times the speed that you can pedal. But of course, you don't have to worry about it because he will eat you and spit out the bones, and you have no way of defending yourself because while we're taking away one right, we're giving you another. You have the right to pedal as fast as you want. Then they'll put speed limits on bicycles. Well, you can't go any faster than the slowest person, you know. So we'll have to, yeah, your fast bike to get you there faster. No, we're going to have to change that. We're gonna make it because it's unsafe. You know, you just can't. People can't see you coming fast enough. You're gonna have to slow it down. Your bike goes too fast. These electric bikes on these trails, yeah, we're gonna have to eliminate those too. You know, because electricity takes power, and we're trying to eliminate power plants right now. I mean, you know, come on, people, get with the program. It's better to make new laws so you stop breaking the old ones. This is how it works. I hope you guys are enjoying your coffee this morning and my ranting. Mm. But today is going to be a beautiful day. You know why it's going to be a beautiful day? Because I'm here. And if I'm here, everything's beautiful. Except me. Ah. When you go to a place like Deer Lodge, Montana, people still wave at you at the stoplight. The pace of life is just a little slower when you're a pedestrian or on a bike. Okay. It allows you to experience more. It allows you to take in more instead of just flying by. Oh, but see, that's the thing. I like flying by. I would prefer to fly by certain towns as fast as possible. Like we're talking, you know, I think the speed limit is what, 70 or something like that. I would prefer to be passing by your crap hole place at like, you know, twice that speed, like 140 would be beautiful. I think we ought to just have like an autobahn that goes from from the top to the bottom, you know, from one end to the other. We ought to have something that goes across the United States that if you put your foot down on the gas pedal and whatever speed that it hits, there you are. I think we should have that. And I don't think you should have to pay a premium for it. It should just be there. You know, just go as fast as possible to get from one point to the other. That's what I would like to see. Because whenever I want to go stop off and see a nice little city and I want to actually stop and smell the roses and enjoy a place. The last thing I want to have is some asshole on a bicycle, you know, ringing his little bell and you know, giving me a hard time. I want to pull in there. I want to walk around, relax and enjoy taking the sights. But that's whenever I want to do it. I don't want to be forced to do that. That's the difference. If I want to go see like a hellhole, all I have to do is just go in my you know my city, and it's like a hellscape from everywhere. Uh, Railroad tracks established most of the key arteries for the Great American Rail Trail. Yeah, we had the same thing here in Georgia. There's something similar to that. Which they I watched them grow that. I can't remember the name of it. It's in like not too far from Piedmont Park, not too far from where I used to live in the Virginia Islands. Actually, I lived right up the street from there. Um, and it's I can't remember something trail. I can't remember. But they built condos right along the whole thing. Isn't that wonderful? So they have little condos, they have little shops, and it looks all nice and cute. You know, the beauty of it is at night it turns into, yeah, you don't want to be riding your bike down through there. Just saying. Standalone recreational bridge connected Steubenville, Ohio, and East Steubenville, West Virginia, could cost upwards of 35 million. Well, and then you've got to take care of it, you know. So you build this bridge, and then you have to upkeep the bridge. Ah, Instead of seeking federal funding for the 160 million multimodal bridge for motorized vehicle traffic with a separate segment for pedestrian cyclists alongside it. Without this infrastructure bill, we wouldn't be having these conversations. Paparaki, Paparaki said we'd be fighting tooth and nail to get money that would probably be left off the food trough. Free food, free food. Maybe one day I can listen to myself, Judge Maddie. You the best. You the best. Thank you, Eris, for showing that. Check out the Continuum live Sundays, midnight Central Standard Time, and Maddie's mixtape on Tuesdays, 1 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time on KDHX with Judge Maddie. Tune in from anywhere in the world. And here is your website. It's https kdhx.org/home/schedule. I could I could never be a radio announcer. I can't watch my language enough to be a radio announcer. I would say so much shit that would get me in trouble. Be like, you can't say that on air. Well, I did. O'Neill, 57, remains optimistic that eventually the trail passing by his bike shop and the one stopping short of Ohio border will carry cyclists into the state. So that way he can throw out nails and get those bike repair things. Hey, Zach, good morning. Good to see you. Most cities and towns already have bike trails. Seriously, how many people are going to be willing to pedal their ass from sea to shining sea? Yeah. Well, hey, how you doing? Interesting name. Good to see you, Mr. Pooplinker 9000. Good to see you over there on the Rumble side. Glad you could make it. that's not a name I would want to have, but hey, if that's your thing, enjoy. Oh my gosh. But in other news, while we're talking about poop licking, Cardinal is convicted of embezzlement and sentenced to 5.5 years in a major Vatican financial trial. Sorry. I'm just like, wait, so that's his sentence. He has to be in a trial for 5.5 years? I don't know if they read this wrong. A Vatican tribunal on Saturday convicted a cardinal of embezzlement and sentenced him. This just is a typo. This is a typo. That's what it is. Okay. I'm just sitting there going, wow. Imagine you're sentenced to just sitting in a trial for 5.5 years. I don't know who that worse is. Who that would be worse on. Imagine those poor jurors. 5.5 years of this crap. You're kidding me. You're English and I hate the royals. They're a symbol of class. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Because the mad Englishman here says, I'm in the UK, nothing worse than stuck in a country lane behind a mid-aged yellow lycra clad Olympian wannabe on a bike. Yeah. Here in the United States. Now, back whenever I first, was a young child, they used to have where they told you to ride your bicycle going into traffic. Okay. Which sounds completely wrong. And they changed it at some point in time where it's like, yeah, you want to be traveling with the traffic because the speed of the bicycle. Now, if you're walking, walk towards traffic so you can see what's coming at you, kind of thing. All right. So that out of the way, that's how I got my leg broken. So just riding into traffic. Guy was making a right hand turn and didn't look and didn't see me, and wham. Had I been coming the other direction, he probably would have seen me. But it's a weird situation. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. But there was also this thing where they told you if you're crossing the street, you're supposed to walk your bicycle across the street. I understand bikes are able to make it cross a little bit faster, and that also you would travel in a single file line. And the reason for that is because you're making room for the automobiles that the road was designed for in the first place. The amazing how cars, have much more weight. It's harder for them to stop, and they can also speed up a lot faster. So it makes sense to sort of give way to that. And I'm usually pretty respectful to people on bikes, but you see it every so often where you get these people that pile up five along, where they're just like five people stacked up alongside of one another, sitting at like a stoplight, and you're going, there's a whole bunch of traffic behind you that they want to get through that light so they can make their happy way to actually being more productive to society, instead of looking at some, a bunch of dudes and women in biker shorts that have no respect for other people's time. And then they get mad whenever they all get all wrapped up in their pedals and stuff like that, because, well, that 3,000-pound vehicle just sort of swerved into their lane a little bit. I don't understand. They just get all tangled up and go flippity flip. It's so weird. I'm sure someone would stream all 5.5 years. Damn right. Damn right. Liberalism and small government and freedom of choice. Liberalism is small government, freedom of choice. Yeah, there you go. What is that? An activity that requires spandex. I'm out. Well, if I'm walking naked and someone crashes because of my beautiful nakedness, that's their fault, no matter which way I'm walking, strutting, etc. I ain't wearing spandex for any activity, Mo. I don't know. Spandex could be quite liberating depending on who's wearing it. Just saying. As I say, I'm from the UK, and we're losing speech rights week on week. Well, you never had them in the first place. There you go. You never had your right to freedom of speech. You don't have, in some countries, you don't have those them there are things called natural rights. They don't believe in those. Uh, So this poor cardinal, okay, so he's convicted of 5.5 years, one of several verdicts handed down in a complicated financial trial that aired the city state's dirty laundry and tested its justice system. So it was a 50 charges brought against them during a 2.5 year trial. I don't think the trial was that long, but it might have been. Bucci was accused of embezzlement related charges in two tangents of the London deal, and in the end, he was convicted of embezzlement stemming from the original Vatican investment of 200 million euros into a fund that invested in the London property. Okay, so he was basically doing some shenanigans. Enormous leeway to withhold evidence and otherwise pursue investigation. In the end, the tribunal acquitted many of the suspects. Many of the biggest charges included fraud, corruption, and money laundering, determining in many cases the crime simply didn't exist. But nevertheless, in order to confiscate 166 million euros from them and payment of civil damages to Vatican offices of 200 million euros, one defendant, Bucci's former secretary, Monsignor Mauro Carlino, was acquitted entirely. The trial was initially seen as a sign of France's financial reforms and willingness to crack down on alleged financial misdeeds of the Vatican. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so they just got fined, got in a little bit of trouble. The tribunal found both guilty and sentenced Morano to 3 years and 9 months in prison. Yeah, there you go. But of course, there was this one here. Share this tab instead. Why is it giving me a hard time? So difficult. Close that. Close that. Close that. I'm going to have to refresh my screen because it's giving me a hard time. There we go. The first outside legal analysis of Vatican's trial of the century are in, and they're critical. Yeah, trial of the century highlighting violations of basic defense rights, rule of law norms, and they warn it could have consequences for the Holy See going forward. I think people are mad at the Holy See because he was basically telling one country they should just surrender. I think that's why people are so angry. They'd have better had monks on that jury. That's a freaking long trial. Yes, that's that. Now, you would think that the trial is that long. Now, the trial is also part of like the pleadings that have to be done and crap like that. Like, think about this: a murder trial can go on for years. What you actually see in the courtroom that could last a few weeks, several months. But like the trial proceedings, if you have a jury, that part where you have the jury, that's only part of a trial. The stuff that you see on the law tubes and stuff like that trial. I mean, think about this. There's a constant trial going on currently that you have no idea about, unless you're following it. It's whenever you get to court, it's something a little bit different. Mm. Mm. Time is broken down year by year, go around the sun month based on this guy's just catching up over here on the Rumble side. Hey, once you get over there, poop liquor, once you get there, just know we were thinking of you. But you'll catch up. You'll catch up. If you run it on 2 times speed, you get there faster. And then by the time you catch up to where I'm at, I'll have already ended, and I'll give you a big thumbs up for checking me out over on Rumble. Love it. 2 years during the hearings, defense attorneys highlighted many of the same issues now raised outside analysts after the verdicts were issued. Tortellini, insisted that the process had been fair, that the judges acted independent, the trial was out. So that's what I think they're trying to get at is all of that silliness. But there's something else that I want to talk about, and I don't know if I'm probably get in trouble for doing it. Like I'll get copywritten like so bad. Zach, that was a beautiful sentence. What was it that Zach said? Zach, hey. Low in the deep end. I won't even grammar not see that sentence. Sure, you won't see that sentence. Sorry, that's so bad. So, in case you guys have missed it, because it is an interesting one. They've got this Don Lemon. Okay, I'm sure you know who that is. You know who I'm talking about. There's something that he did. He had his own little show. Okay. And I guess it was supposed to be on X. He'd signed some sort of exclusive thing. Well, he got in trouble. He got in all kinds of trouble. And it looked a little bit something like this. And I'll show you here in just a second. Let me do this.
And you're gonna avoid my arm for 60 seconds with your eyes closed. And it's $500. You think you can do it?
No. I'll try.
This is awesome.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. You ready?
Ready.
And go.
Oh, see, it's gonna freeze up.
45. Like that. 55 seconds.
There we go. This is so cruel. So just imagine you're walking through a grocery store and you see a guy doing this. Oh, I'm just so if you see someone doing this, just know what happened. Just know what actually happened to him. Not unlike this guy that has some talent. Here we go. This guy has talent. But that is funny. Oh yeah. The other one's even better. Wouldn't let me show that one. But I will. This is the kind of stuff that I find like completely entertaining and interesting, because this is watching someone that has mastered their craft. Hmm. Ah. Buenos dias. Good to see you. Lynn Dalton. I mean, this is just impressive right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hey Jude, how are you this morning? And here it goes. Boom, 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 boom. Right down the other side. Bam. Look at that. Talent. Gives a little bit of sprinkling of dust. And there he is, gonna knock down a whole bunch of bricks. It's totally got this system down. That right there is a stone cutter. Boom, right down the middle. Boom, right down there. Boom, right there. Next one. Next one. Done, done, done. All perfectly sized. Oh, God, the talent. Love it. I love watching those right there. Those make my day. Oh my. So here's this one. Let me present this one again. This one's really good.
$500. $500. Can you do it? Arm gonna be out. It's gonna avoid it for 60 seconds with your eyes closed. Think you can do it? Yeah. You ready? Yeah. And go. 55 seconds.
Yes, I'm muted. Boomer. I was coughing. That's why I muted myself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Boomer gonna boom. That little bird can't figure out why it won't jump in his mouth. Like, jump. Jump. This is how I get fed. Yes, the video is actually muted on purpose. It is completely muted on purpose. There's no sound to it. There's no sound to that particular one. But let's see. There we go. Now, you know about rabbits, right? Yep. That's a smart rabbit. Get in my belly. F the foods my kids wanna make food when they can make stuff. Good morning, Atheist Aunt. Good to see you. It's always a pleasure, always a pleasure. Ah, I like this one too. This is really good. Give me just a second here. If you watch, little kid's mimicking his mom. That's pretty cute. Uh cute kid. Oh. Mhm. All right. Let's see if I got something else. Oh, no, no, not showing that one. Oh, I love this. Love this. Let's expand this one out. Let me it'll take a second before I can show it. There you go. Oh, what is that? Should see AFK about away from key forward in about 5 minutes. Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. You be safe, Eris, and have a wonderful one. We'll be keeping an eye out for you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Keep an eye out for you. This is so so cool. Yeah. Gotta mute this. And here we go. Look at that. So this is a photographer getting pictures, or could be a video of sardines like swimming. This looks so neat. Just completely surrounded by the fish. Love it. Love seeing that. Hello from Australia. Good to see you, Tiani or Tania. I think that's Tania. Tania Kelly. Good to see you from Australia. Oh my gosh. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We are having a wonderful day today. So Don Lemon, and of course, I know it's going to get me in trouble because it always does. He decided that he was going to interview Elon Musk, and of course, he gets very upset because um, he's um, he's I would say he's not a free speech absolutist, because if he was, then I wouldn't get any sort of copyright on this. But I know that if I do play it, I'll get a copyright. Isn't that weird? But Don Lemon does not like Elon, obviously, because he decided he wanted to start talking about this one particular thing that's called the Great Replacement Theory. And Elon has already said, no, I don't agree with the Great Replacement Theory. And of course, Don Lemon has to say, well, you've said things like talking about the Great Replacement Theory, or you've agreed with people that have spoken about things like that. It's like, well, yeah, and Don, so have you. There you go. You've said things of the same aspect, just on a different level. Um, just saying, you might want to check yourself. But yeah, Don Lemon is a I guess he has his own media and news company. If you want to check it out, go check it out on your own. I won't show it and get in trouble. Thanks for the laughs. Have a great day, y'all. You have a wonderful one. M. Louder, it's good to see you. Yes. Have a wonderful and safe flight. Yes, please, Eris, have a wonderful and safe flight. Be careful, and we will see you soon. Just make sure to keep the rubber side down at all times. Good morning, Dave. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. No longer a theory when it has actually happened already. Yeah. Yeah. Ah. See, I have a hard time showing some of these things because I really want to show it, but I know what'll happen as soon as I do. As soon as I show it, they'll come in, they'll remove me. And here we go.
We have the First Amendment, and it's important to think about that. Why does it exist? And it exists because people came from countries where they could not speak freely, where if they did speak their mind, they would be imprisoned or killed. That's why they were so concerned about freedom of speech, is because they didn't have it in the countries they came from. And in many places in the world, maybe most places, you don't have freedom of speech. And there's certainly no country has the protection on speech that the United States does. Not even Canada. So
Yep.
that's it's something we should really take pride in and seek to preserve. Because I think that the bedrock of democracy is freedom of speech. Because if you can't say what you want to say, then I think that's essentially political coercion. If you so anyway, there's a reason why there was a high urgency to amend the Constitution with the First Amendment. It was because if you don't have freedom of speech, you got nothing.
There you go. Straight out of Elon's mouth. So, fingers crossed. Well, here's the thing. I've got something better for your fingers to do. And I showed this yesterday, but I think it still stands today. I'm pretty sure that this stands today. Now, just keep this in mind. Keep this in mind that there's much better things you can do than cross your fingers.
Stick
And
in
that's
your
this.
2 fingers like this, and then place your thumb on top like so. That will increase the pleasure. If you stick in your 2 fingers like this, and then place your thumb.
I know you'd like that one, David. That was for you. Jack Lemmon and Don turned into a grumpy old yeah. Jack Lemmon sounded like a fool in the interview. Yeah, Don Lemon sounded like a fool. I knew you would like that, David. I knew that would put a smile on your face. Oh my. Yes, these are the kinds of things I talk about on my morning show. And, I try to keep it fun, lighthearted, and interesting. Now, I'm not always fun, lighthearted, and interesting. That's just me. That's just me. Unlike some people. Some people can get so upset about things like this. This is a very upsetting scene, and I do have to show. So here you go. Most upsetting scene.
Bro. Oh, Moon Rouge. Bro, everybody's good.
Yes.
Oh my God, it looks like bullet holes, bro.
Yeah.
God damn, look at this one over here.
So bad.
Dude.
Yeah, all of our cars are fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Damn.
Pretty much. pretty much everything is completely messed on that one. That would not be fun. That would not be fun at all. But I'll have to show Mo's spirit animal. I she saw this and just it made her day. It made her day. And so this as soon as it allows me to, I will play it. And why is it giving me a hard time? Damn it. There we go. Give me a second. It'll take a second. Once I find it. Let me see. Yeah, see, it's giving me a hard time. Once it stops giving me there we go. This is most said she loved this so
This
much.
way, you'll slip. I won't fall. Maybe I will. That's okay, 'cause we all fall. Have fun, Dad. Well, let's go down this big old hill. Wee woo! Wee woo! Wee woo! Woo! Countersuous! I'm a Stegosaurus.
I know Mo would love that one right there. I love it. It's so precious. Yes, it is. Kids are wonderful. We should repair guy on the phone with his vacation planner upgrade me to first class. This is away from keys. Means away from keys, not getting on a plane, and I'm back. But thanks for the safe travel wishes. I wish I could have thought. I would have thought of Mikey, my kids. Yes, precious kiddos. I'll tell you a funny story. So back wait, this is probably a couple of decades ago. Yeah, it had to be about a couple. It was maybe not quite 2 decades. But this is a while back. I was playing a game with some other people. I think it was Call of Duty we were playing. I don't remember what it was. And I didn't realize I had a hot mic on, and I'd stepped away from the keyboard and done something, and of course, me being the moron that I am, I'm singing to my dog, which I do, just call me weird, whatever. So I'm singing to my dog, and I pick up my headset and I put it back on, and dude on the other end is laughing his ass off, like just nonstop. And he's going, God, I wish I had a microphone to record you, because that is the funniest, creepiest shit I've ever heard. Yeah, that was that was interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, geez, Louise. Yeah, I do stupid things like that. Like, but at least at least he got some humor out of it. You're fine. I just got back and was like, wait, huh? What is that a hint? Jeez, Mel. Well, no hints given. No hints given whatsoever. Oh, let's see. One more. There's going to be a good one here. There we go. Let's see if this is the one I think it is.
People are just walking in front of it like we're not recording.
It happens. Beware, people. None of it's intentional. Never attribute to malice what can be attributed to incompetence. It's far more likely that they're all in their own worlds, doing their own thing. They're not paying attention to the world around them. And we all do it every day, whether you're driving, walking down the street, All of our lives are just as complex as everybody else's. Everything you have going on, they have going on. Nobody knows what everybody else is going through. We also need to be a little more self-aware and aware of the world around us. You got to look deep to find the deep things. If all you ever do in your life is stay at the surface, you'll never find anything worth exploring.
Are you real?
I try to be.
That was a good one. I wonder what this one is. I don't know if I can play this. This is so bad. I found Lynette's latest video.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Oh, sorry. That was so bad. I shouldn't have done that. Mm. Mm. Mm.
Well, shit.
Here we go. Here we go.
Be a good boy for once in
This
your
is
life.
for you guys
Are
here.
you done? Come here. Come here. Buster Henry. Buster. Hey, that's what's my towel. Don't you dare. Buster. Come here. Come here.
No, it's got music in the background. I can't have the music. Ninth attempt, left him out, and he does this. Yep. Oh my God. Marissa, with all the many faces of Mo, we'll never know how you're going to people either. Aw. No. I never know either. This is so enjoyable. So much pleasure. So much pleasure in the little things in life. And that's what we should be looking for is all the small things in life that just make your day better.
Get smaller.
Like this.
Und jetzt ein Plus. Und jetzt da. Da. So, kannst du mir dein Herz malen?
Oh, it tries to take. Oh, sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, T. Underwood. Sorry you lost your pup last Thursday. Oh, yes, we are very much sorry for your loss. Pups, pups are what give us a lot of enjoyment. Give us lots of enjoyment, and let's see what I can show. I do want to see this. This is the worst job interview ever, and I am going to play it. Here we go.
Nobody wants to work anymore. Let me tell you about the interview I had this week, and maybe then you'll see why nobody wants to work anymore. First red flag, I get there and they tell me that they're going to do my interview in the front of the store where customers are walking in, just in front of everyone. It didn't really bother me that much because I do really well in interviews. I'm very talkative and outgoing, but it was weird because I've never had an employer do that before. So the store manager and I, her name was Brittany, she asked me to describe myself and I said, I'm passionate, I'm outgoing, I'm hardworking. My biggest flaw, I get bored at work. I always have to be doing something. And she was like, that's great. There's always something to be doing here. She then told me to describe an instance. I had a difficult time with a coworker and I'm trans. So I wanted to tread the waters and see if
He's
this
a
was a safe
trans
place for me
man.
to work. So I told
had
her
no
I
idea.
had a former shift lead who was not respecting a coworker's identity,
no idea this guy
was
was a trans
constantly
man.
misgendering them and saying some very, very rude things. And I did mention that I did confront
Pontiac
this
is going
coworker,
out of
and I
its
told them
way.
that it was not respectful, and if the action continued, I would take it to HR. I
know.
told
He's
her,
always
I
Chinese
think it's very
leaders.
important to respect people in the workplace. And she was like, oh my God, yeah, I totally agree. So now I'm thinking, oh, awesome. She respects trans people. I'm going to be safe here. And then she says, yeah, I don't even get into gender ideology politics at work.
That's a novel idea.
Okay, girlie. What do you mean by that? And I asked her, I said, what do you mean? Could you give me an example? And she says, well, I'll respect whatever you want to be called, but I had a former employee. Now, she wanted us to call her a boy, but she looked like a girl and dressed like a boy. And, we all did our best to respect her pronoun. And I'm like, oh my God, she's describing a trans man right now, saying that she was respecting his pronouns, but is misgendering him to me this entire time. I did clarify with her. I was like, oh, was he a trans man? She was like, yeah, whatever she wanted to be called. Now, I already know this is not a safe place for me. If she offers me a job, I'm not taking it. That is disgusting. Just so disgusting. So not a very strong start to an interview, but we had to keep going. I didn't say anything because I wasn't going to out myself at that point. And then she starts telling me about the expectations for the job. She was like, what questions do you have for me? And I said, well, I noticed online, because I did some research, that you guys have a very high turnover rate. Is there any particular reason for that? And she said, yeah, people just don't want to work. Okay. It's not a hard job. I come in and I do everything for you. So, you would never really have to do anything. And I was like, that's literally the opposite of what she just told me. She literally just told me that there would always be something to do. And now she's telling me that I'm never going to have anything to do. Hello? So I start asking about what she expects from me for availability. And she was like, well, I would expect you to be on call, available 24/7. She's like, I'm looking for 24/7 availability. And I was like, yeah, my availability is pretty open. I would just need Wednesday and Thursday off. She said, that's not going to work for me. And I was like, oh, okay. That's not a big deal. Totally. I could probably come in on Wednesday, Thursday. I would just need to move some stuff around. And she was like, okay, well, we're really low staff right now. So I would probably need you to be here from open to close every day. And I was like, this job was listed as part-time. Part-time shift lead. And you want me here open to close every day. By the way, that would have been 9 to 9. So 12 hours every day. Also, we wouldn't get a break as a shift lead. We would be on the floor at all times. She was like, yeah, no, we just don't have any staff right now. So even though it's part-time, I would need you to be here full-time. And I was like, then why did you list it as part-time? I'm only looking for part-time work. She's like, well, I work 50 to 60 hours a week, and that's just what I expect of people. She's like, you see that girl over there that's running the popcorn? Yeah, she's actually not even my staff. I actually borrowed her from a store an hour away because I have no one to work under me, and I don't know why. I don't know why no one wants to work for me. And then we got to pay, and I was like, I already knew I'm not taking this job, but I want to know what she was going to pay me. So I asked, and she said, probably 10 an hour. 10 an hour for full-time overtime management, opening and closing, no breaks. She must have thought I'm fucking stupid. Last but not least, we got to the topic of my piercings. It's always a topic. It's not a big deal. She says, I need you to take all your piercings out. And I practiced this in the mirror, guys. Practice this. And I said, I am not willing to take my piercings out. They're an important part of my identity, and they do not interfere with my work, nor do they interfere with the way that I interact with people or the way that people interact with me. I'm willing to put a mask on to cover my piercings, and that is it. And she said, I don't know if that's going to work for me. I'm going to need you to take them out. She's like, I could talk to the district manager for you. I was like, what does it matter if I have them if they're covered? And she was like, well, we just can't let you have them. Meanwhile, she's sitting there with 3 face piercings. She has an eyebrow piercing, she has a nostril piercing, and she has a lip piercing. So I am like, why do I have to take mine out if you don't have to take yours out? Why is your position more important than me when it comes to expressing identity? All in all, we get to the end of the interview, and she's like, I love you. Your personality is so vibrant and so beautiful. She was like, I think you would be a really great fit for us. She shook my hand. She said, I have a few more interviews this week, but you'll get a call from me by Thursday if I pick you. And I said, you know what? You have a wonderful day. And I walked out and I laughed my ass off in the car. Just like the blatant disrespect of someone that was working for her that she would not gender correctly, who explicitly told her how he wanted to be referred to. And she just still, I don't get into those politics. I'll respect what you want to be called, and then wouldn't respect him at all. Like, no one wants to work anymore. Employers don't even want us to work for them in the first place. I'm not going to become a corporate fucking slave. Should not be forced to strip myself of everything that makes me me just to work overtime, $10 an hour, management, no breaks. Next day. So I'm actually going to post a video about that one too.
Oh, horrible person. Oh, geez, Louise. And I'm with you on this, Dave. It's definitely interferes with the people interact with you whenever you have a nose ring in the food. It's just sort of grosses you out. You ask for a different server. Yeah, there's labor laws for a reason. Whenever you work anything over 40 hours is time. It should be time and a half, called overtime. I mean, unless you're salaried, and then that's already filled in that spot. Like being salaried, you don't. It's priced in there, so you bid your job accordingly. I love the woman that complains about having to work an 8-hour shift, or the Starbucks employee that's crying in the bathroom because there's so many customers. Yeah, I don't understand those either. Yeah. Clip a dog chain on that nose and let's go for a walk. You can't, because although the septum is pierced, they have the big slot in the middle of it. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I had my septum pierced, but I took the damn thing out because it was a little bit of a hazard. The chances of it getting snagged by somebody was pretty slim, because in case you don't know, I have a little bit of a snoz there. It's not like Nick Rekieta level or anything like that, but it's just like, geez, why accentuate that part of your face if you don't need to? Oh man, what a day today is going to be. We've got all of these fine folks here. We've got Danielle hanging out. Glad to see you, Danielle. Deborah Kennedy, Zach just on. The sackcloth was really scratchy to sleep in, so you're coughing up the ashes. Good job. Hello, just on. Oh my gosh, I worked retail. What was that? You worked retail through college, and the reason I made it through to graduate. Exactly. I mean, there's a good God, if I could have been getting paid, $10 an hour back in the day, that would have been awesome as a starting wage. And everyone says, well, everything's so much more expensive to do. It's just like, well, is it really? I mean, look at your spending. And I saw something not too long ago. I don't know if it was true or not, but I think it was New York Times or something like that. It was showing some sort of spending habits of millennials. And it's like making an X amount of dollars per month. They were spending more time eating out. Their cell phone was a small portion of those charges. They're paying for internet, cable, and all these other like things to like occupy their time. And the amount that was being spent on their rent was only a small portion of it. And there was a good portion of that was being used in charity or something of that sort. Which I'm less like, okay, that's fine. Giving away to charity is, I guess, wonderful, but spending habits these days are just insane. The way that people spend their money, and I mean that was a conversation my wife and I had whenever we started doing like this. Someone asked about the remodeling. That was on my mind about the work that we were having done. Initially, we were looking to do something else with that money, and well, that didn't work out. So we had to take care of the number one priority, and that was making sure that our current living space is good and that we don't have any issues with it. So instead of taking a really nice vacation this year and going in and enjoying life in other ways, we've decided to fix up our basement. Isn't that wonderful? And it's pricey. It's not cheap to do. But that's how it goes. You have to make these sacrifices, and I think a lot of people are not willing to make those kinds of sacrifices for themselves to make their situation better. Instead, they'll get on TikTok and complain. God, I saw one not too long ago. I think it was on the Twitter. Let me see if I can find it, because it was this girl that just got totally like destroyed on something that she posted on TikTok about being abused by staff escorting her out. And she got on TikTok and started talking about how awful she was treated. And I will find it, because it is absolutely the most insane thing that I'd seen. I was like, what is up with this girl getting escorted out? And I think I've got it here somewhere. And yes, here it is. I found it. Found it right here. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. And there it is. Over the past weekend, there was a viral society media post about this girl that was receiving thousands of views, shares, and comments, resulting in damage to the business and her staff. You will see the video post allegations along real side surveillance footage.
So they are grabbing us immediately. They don't even give us a chance to walk out on our own.
And here's them being grabbed. Remains calmly walking out, apologizing repeatedly for her behavior.
I'm immediately grabbed by this man, and he's grabbing my arm. He's pushing me. He's manhandling me. And what is going on? What is the issue here? Why are you guys taking this out? Why are you screaming at us? And also, why are you grabbing me and manhandling me and dragging me, using my bag to pull me out?
Miss Real blows the footage of Miss Real safely being escorted from the bathroom hallway to the exit. Not once does he ever lay a hand on her. And of course,
I'm just pushed down. He sends me flying down the staircase.
Down the staircase.
I think I start to kind of yell, scream back at him, kind of push back at him, and he takes me a second time and shoves me again and sends me flying down the rest of the staircase.
And here's the footage of her going down the staircase, both of them being escorted down. Both of them being escorted out. She was politely escorted off the premises and ensuring a safe exit. And of course, he's got a flashlight on the stairs the whole time to make sure that she's safe. Wow.
It was the craziest experience I've ever been in. It was completely and utterly ridiculous.
Really?
How much it escalated.
All the escalation. She's exiting the building. She's being removed. Since the post, the business and the staff have received considerable negative reviews and messages, including the messages of violence and peril. Hubbard is a small business of over 12 years serving patrons in Chicago. So imagine somebody comes in and says some horrible things about you, says something horrible about your business, and it's not true. And they had to release that kind of video just to show how mean and cruel people are. So saddening. So saddening that people of all shapes and sizes, walks and stripes of life will end up thinking that something horrible happened but didn't. But we did find yeah. I gotta mute that. This is a nope, I'm not gonna play that. That'll get me in trouble for the music. And what is it? Oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. If it'll let me play it. Probably not. And let's do this and present. We'll see if this will work. See if this will work, because this is absolutely hilarious. If you don't know anything about this, then this is a time that you have to really think about your life choices.
Want 5 Guys?
What?
Do you want 5 Guys?
I don't think I can handle that.
You can't handle 5 Guys?
No, I don't think so. That's kind of a lot to throw at somebody randomly.
It's just 5 Guys.
Okay, well then can I pick them?
Yeah, you can pick whatever you want.
Okay, well I have some people in mind.
What do you mean?
I have some people in mind. If you're wanting to do this, I have some people in mind. I probably have their numbers in my phone.
It's 5 Guys.
Yes, I know.
Do you want... It's the restaurant.
The restaurant?
Yeah, 5 Guys.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good.
What are you talking about?
The restaurant.
Oh, so this Sally showed me or pulled up, and so I'm gonna do the same for you guys here. This is just fake is but still funny as it all get out. This isn't fake. This portion is not fake right here. Here we go.
That X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform, that you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to
Democrats. I don't have to
Democrats,
answer these
the
questions.
Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think, do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm
or that
criticized
there was-
constantly. I could care less.
That right there was part of that interview with Don Lemon. Maybe this weekend coming up. I think maybe I will probably make that a Rumble only, and you'll only be able to see it on the Rumble side. Because that's sometimes how you have to do these things. You can only show certain things on the Rumble side. And it'll be interesting to see that whole interview and get commentary on it. Lemon lives true to his name, bitter and sour, all at the same time. I guess that would be true. Yeah, that's it's crazy that Zach. What did you miss? You miss everything, Zach. You know, it happens. It happens. All you need is a little love. That's all you need, Zach. Just a little love makes the world go around, makes it all that much better. But speaking of a little bit of love, I will be heading out here, and tonight we'll be doing a little bit more of the watch party of What the Hales, because that is so damn cool, and it's just getting better. We watched them uncover some mastodon teeth or mammoth teeth. That's pretty damn neat. Had Mo on with me last night. That was sorry, had a cough. That was so enjoyable having Mo on, and we had a really good time watching the kookiness and the craziness of the lion beast. But that's that's what we do. We go to see the interesting stuff. Speaking of interesting stuff, you guys have a wonderful day. I will be forwarding you guys all over to go see Mo in the Deep End for her Newsy News this morning. And that's where you guys are going to be hanging. I hope that you hang around long enough and show her all the love you possibly can, and put a smile on her face. This is what we like to see. We like to see happy people shining everywhere. Oh, it's Jody Day today. Damn. So what time is your Jody Day starting? See, it's yes, exactly. You are the best, Mo. And thank you, David, for being a member for 3 months. Holy cow. That's about how long I've been monetized. So you've been with me this whole time, David. I need to have Dave on again. He's so much. Oh, 2 o'clock East, 12 o'clock Eastern. So noon Eastern Standard Time is Jody Day over at MLS. And I will be there, Farrell. I'm taking 20-minute nap, Mo, in the deep end. Yeah, you take and get a little bit of rest. I do have plans to do a stream tonight, so keep an eye out for that. That should come popping up. And of course, today is election day in some states, and we'll probably talk a little bit about that at some point. We'll probably keep track of what's going on with the election, because that's what we do. We sort of pay attention to that weird stuff, like, I don't know, trials and crap like that. But anyhow, what we're going to do is I'm going to kick everybody over to go hang out, go check out Mo. And Mo, I'm sure we'll be sending you on to somebody else, and you can go and say hi to them, and just have a good day, and be nice to one another for a change. Don't be mean. Don't be a Don Lemon or a Sadie Beecham or any of that stuff like that. Just be lovely, be kind to one another, and you'll find that gets returned to you tenfold whenever you have a little bit of compassion for your fellow human being. But with that, love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you again very soon. Peace.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.